What's up, guys?
I always look at Steve and I'm like, are you going to start?
That was all you that time.
Okay, well, I said hello. How is everyone doing? How are you doing, Steven?
Fantastic. I'm having a great Sunday.
Yes.
Feels good to work on the podcast
I love the new space. I know we've recorded here before, but I feel like this is Steven's, like, new and improved. This is Steven 2020.
For sure. I had to, do up my living room, give myself a space to, like, mentally wind down at night and, like, just feel like I'm at home since I'm going to be staying here for at least another year, if not two. So it's nice to have this space, and it feels good. It's very me.
Yeah.
And now we can shoot the podcast in here, and it's great.
It's nice because we talked about getting, like, a actual office space, but I feel like this is more like
homey, comfortable.
Yeah, it's not as like stuffy. So
and this art, I love this art.
Wow, beautiful art. I actually made this piece of art. If you're looking at it,
she did. With the Sharpie.
A brown Sharpie.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are we talking about today?
Sex. We're talking about sex.
What else is new? Steven's favorite topic.
Yes, we're actually going to talk about spicing it up in the bedroom today because, pumpkin spice and
we're in the fall.
Spice.
Yeah, so, spicing it up.
Yeah, and it's that time of year when everyone's, like, horny and, like, bunked down with each other and cuddling up.
Yeah.
And, you
got to keep it spicy. Holiday season. Yeah.
Got to keep it spicy. So.
I feel like this is also one of our first episodes, like, where this can be beneficial for people in relationships as well, because I think we always talk about, like, being single forever and, like, never settling, and I'm sure, like, it's really old.
And the good part about it, too, is, like, although we talk about that and we make jokes about it all the time, I was almost married before. I've been in long-term relationships. You've been in long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And that's also why we're single, because we realized that we don't want to be in long-term relationships. But we have the perspective of being in long-term relationships and understanding why they get boring, why things go stale.
Right.
And, how to just keep things interesting to prevent that from happening in the future.
That's true. Past the honeymoon phase. What do you think that is? Like, obviously there is a time period of a relationship where it's super exciting naturally, and then, a year and a half, if you're lucky, like 2 years, that all of a sudden it gets to be stale.
Yeah, I think that there's a very cut and dry reason for that. And it's that when you're single, you're, like, working on yourself. You're trying to be, like, the best you can be. You have all this time to focus on you. And let's say, for example, you're in the gym or you're doing things to basically...
You're all about you, pretty much.
And that is attractive to other people, and you're building yourself up so you can attract someone, pretty much. So you find someone that you end up attracted with, and the majority of the time, not all the time, you find that person and you're like, okay, I found that person. I can pull back on how hard I'm working now. I can slow down in the gym. I can do all this.
Get a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, because I have someone now. So, like, in the beginning, like, you're still on that high, you still feel good, you're like, I've been consistently working out of the gym, doing all these things, and then 6 months down the road, you guys go out for one too many dates, you start getting a little bit of a gut.
Also have to think about, like, you used to spend all this time working on yourself, right? And then this person comes along and you're sharing that time you used to fully spend on yourself with another person now.
Yeah.
So you're not obviously building yourself up as much.
Yeah.
Now you're splitting or trying to figure out how to divide your time up. And a lot of people get lost in that other person. You just start to hang out with that person and not hang out with yourself anymore. So
and it is very possible that you can find someone like power couples and whatnot.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you both are still grinding or you're working out together even more, but it's still very rare.
Right.
It can still happen, but it's rare. So I would say that would be the biggest reason that things go dry, is because two people stop working on themselves and they start changing their lifestyle to fit each other instead of living their own lives and then coming back together in their free time after they've lived their lives.
Right.
So
and that's where I think time management in a relationship, or if you're just starting to, like, date somebody, or you're casually seeing somebody, like, I think that's where it's so important to manage how much you see that person.
Absolutely.
Like, that is probably my biggest advice to anybody. Like, I'm kind of in the process of just, like, seeing someone, like, once a week or once every few weeks, and it's, like, really exciting. Like, I, like, enjoy looking forward to seeing someone that way,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
you don't get bored of them. It's like, oh, I'll see you twice a month. See ya. Like, it's good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The last experience I had like that, the girl that I've talked about in previous episodes, like the best sex ever, we saw each other maybe like once or twice a week over the course of 7 months, and it just kept getting better.
That's
and
awesome.
Better and better. But then there was like 1 week we saw each other like 5 or 6 days out of like 7 or 8 days, and like things just immediately started going down.
Really?
So we pulled back from that, and then we kept it that way, and it was good. It was interesting, and we were always able to keep things fun and interesting. But when you're seeing someone every day, you're living someone with every day, you're whatever it is that you're doing, like spending more time with that person, especially if you're having sex and you're doing those things, like you got to keep it interesting.
Right.
Because otherwise, the same missionary sex or the same positions that you keep doing over and over again is no longer special. If you have a chocolate cake every single day of your life, you're eventually going to hate chocolate cake.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
It's like you're going to just get used to it. It's not going to be like exciting. So I feel like even when it comes to like that correlates, not even just in like an emotional relationship, like your sexual experiences, it's the same thing. It's all about changing it up, like not being afraid to do something new, and like you want to get out of that comfort zone. So like that's one of my like biggest forms of advice, is just doing something new.
Yes, and that also falls in with communication, to understand like, okay, you want to try something new, like let's try something new. What did you like from last time? What do you want to do different? Is there any kinks or fetishes or anything?
What's your advice for opening up those conversations? Because not everyone is as vulnerable. Like, how would you start to navigate a conversation like that? So
because I'm so into just like meeting new people and just having that like experience in like a friends with benefits kind of way, I personally like to preface everything from the beginning. I lay it out on the table from the start, because I think a lot of people end up getting stuck in relationships, and then like a year down the road you realize like we've had no communication, you're not into anything I'm into, and even now if we had a chance to talk about it, there's just no way you're going to be into this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really important to just be as honest as possible and just be like, hey, can we like talk about our sex life? Can we talk? I want to know like what it is that you're into. Like
working up that courage.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of like in a situation where sometimes it feels difficult for me to start talking about not sexual things, but just like emotional connection.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to navigate how to start conversations like that without it feeling like this big thing.
I would say, like, from my perspective, if I was hooking up with someone or dating someone, I would appreciate more than anything if we were just sitting down having a conversation one night and you were just like, hey, so, like, in a flirty way, because we're talking about sex, just be like, hey, so I really like that thing you did the other night. Like, it'd be really cool.
Like, just say it.
Yeah, just, like, give me something that you liked. You've at least initiated the conversation of, like, okay, you just communicated with me something that you enjoyed in the bedroom. And then from there, hopefully they either reciprocate, or you can be like, I really like that. I think it'd be really cool if we started, like, trying something new.
That's
a
good way. Like, start with a compliment.
Yeah, because some guys also, too, their egos will be fragile. And if you're like, oh, well, we've been doing it the same way for 6 months, and all of a sudden you come to them and you're like, hey, can we try something new? They're going to be like, did you just like try something new with someone else? What did you do?
Yeah.
But another good way, and I hate to like say this because I don't necessarily like support porn. I don't really disagree with it or agree with it. Whatever it is, it's a neutral thing for me. But I think that couples who watch porn together
stay together.
It really, really, really helps open up your mind to like a lot of new things. So if you're like, this is what I'm into, and then they show you what they're into. I think if any guy was sitting down and the girl that they were hooking up with just like pulled open a porn video, they'd be like, oh shit.
Because so many girls are like really insecure about that.
Yeah. And most guys like would probably be open and accepting to it. And if they're not, then, either conversation or find someone else. It's just that it very simple, easygoing conversations. If you're the one who wants things to be spiced up, I would just start a conversation by saying, I really enjoyed what we did last night. I would love it if you like did that more. I really like that thing you did with your tongue, or that was kind of hot. hot. Didn't think I'd be into that. Like, just
use your words.
Yeah, little conversations like that go a long way as far as that goes.
And it does start the conversation for sure.
And then guys too, on the guys' end, also feel like they're kind of like they don't want to be weird and they don't want to be like, hey, so
what'd you think of this?
Yeah.
If a guy talked to me like that, I'd be like,
Exactly.
Oh no, that's so funny. So what is something that you like when you think of like an exciting like experience? What comes to mind? Keep it somewhat appropriate.
I mean, I've got some pretty out there kinks.
We all know.
Got some pretty out there kinks, but I really, really, really like just like the more dirty and just like primal and just nasty, kinky sex. Like, it's a good example. A good example is like sloppy kissing, like swapping spit back and
just
forth.
Like less, like, what is it? Like not trying to like keep it together.
Not
like,
being proper and just like letting your inner inhibitions just out. Yeah. Like,
okay.
Like, I've talked about it in previous episodes of like, you know, face fucking someone or something like that. Like some girls are like super
casual.
into that.
His hand goes out,
Just,
like, face fucking.
But like, I don't know, the more dirty like two people can get and the more you can just like let go of like what is normal and just like hold on to like, I have to be prim and proper and my makeup has to stay right and like I have to make sure I do everything right. Like, fuck that. Like every now and then cool, but like if you can just let go, it's the most
like be into it.
Incredible experience.
It's so true. It's like you don't really want, I guess from the like male perspective looking at women, we just have this idea of having to look perfect and like you see what like even like what porn makes women look like you just have to look like you're enjoying it. Like, not that you shouldn't be enjoying it, but like there's just such a stigma of like what women should look like, especially during sex, and like it's just not reality. And like the more I think women hear that like you can be nasty and like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to look perfect the whole time. Like I think we need that constant reassurance of like, that's okay.
And it's actually really interesting because I can think back to one specific hookup that I had and she was the most like, you could just tell she was trying to act like she was in a porn. Like,
that's embarrassing.
She was just like, it wasn't necessarily like bad, but all of her energy was, she was just trying to make it look like she was doing everything perfect. And it was hard for me
Very theatrical, I guess.
Yeah, it was hard for me to get into it because I knew it wasn't genuine. But then, like, the few experiences I've had with girls that just, like, let their inner sexual energy just, like, flow, there's nothing hotter. Like, there's nothing hotter than when a girl can just, like, let go and just let it take over.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I feel like that's good.
What about you?
I feel like, so a recent, like, spicy experience I've had. I like that. I need to start using spicy more. I feel like I'm pretty spicy, especially once you like start feeding me drinks. I'm very spicy. I had like one of the best weekends a few weekends ago. So
shout out.
No, we're not shouting him out. We're not gonna feed that ego yet. But it was my idea. I will take full credit. We actually stayed at this like really nice hotel downtown, like where we grew up. And I was like, I just want to like stay here. It looks really nice. And we just spent like one night there and I bought this like really nice lingerie and like he took pictures of me and it was just like fun. And
That's
I like
awesome.
got disposable cameras and like we just took pictures of each other and we went out for like a drink and like it's just so much fun like spending time together in a different place. Like and you don't have to go far. Like literally in the town you live in, just like rent a hotel or like get a hotel room and like pretend you're visiting. Like you really do feel like you're on vacation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was so fun and like just the experience of it like makes me want to do that like all the time. You don't have to like travel somewhere crazy and like I don't know, the disposable cameras like were just like a lot of fun. Like you don't think it would be like as exciting as it is and like we haven't seen any of those pictures yet and it's just like it's a good time. Like
That's
just
awesome.
doing something new was like really nice. So yeah.
In like in relationships, or whether you're like friends with benefits with someone or something like that, I think just making like a conscious effort to just like reflect on like, okay, here's where we're at. It's either getting better, it's getting worse, or it's staying the same. And then just saying, okay, like once a month, let's go to a hotel.
Yeah.
Once a month, let's go to like a nude beach. Once a month, let's go and like watch porn together. Let's try a new position. Let's like buy a new toy or something like that. Just making small little like conscious efforts to like
change it up.
Just something, literally anything, because it shows that you're still making an effort. In the same way that in a relationship, if you're like not on a sexual side, but like, okay, I want to like do something nice for you once a month. I'm going to bring you flowers, or I'm going to do something like that. I feel like that's equally as important in the bedroom, because sex is like such a big part of relationships.
Right. And that's where people feel like, oh, this isn't fun anymore, or it's boring, because like you feel like either one person or both people have stopped trying.
Yeah.
So any sort of effort, that's a good way to look at it. Any sort of like effort you make is going to show up as like, oh, this is exciting. Like they're trying. Like people want to feel like you're trying, you know?
Yeah.
Like I want to feel like this person wants to be with me and do something new. And, you know, like you don't need to be like overly affectionate, but I think I want to see you make an effort or try something different. So
absolutely.
That's what, like, mainly I think it is that when you feel like someone stopped trying or given up, it's like, why am I even doing this? You know?
What do you think is the worst experience you've had where you just, like, knew in that moment, you're like, well, this person's just, like, giving up. Or this person's just, like, not even trying. Can you think of anything like that?
I think my worst experiences have been when I have felt that person is really into it and I'm just not.
Okay.
That really sucks to say, but like I feel like I've checked out even during sex with someone where I wasn't even like not as emotionally involved, or like I wasn't like enjoying it as much as them.
Just going through the motions just to keep them happy.
Like I was just there. Like for them almost. So I think that's probably one of the worst experiences, to feel like you know that you aren't as like attracted or you're not into it as much as that other person, because that kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know if it's worse than feeling like that person's not into it. Like I don't know how that feels, thankfully. Like that's nice to say, but like it does, like it feels like you're not doing that person a favor and you're really like putting yourself on the back burner. You know? So that kind of sucks. I'm trying to think of like a sexual situation that was just like vanilla. I don't know. Maybe like when like you suggest something or something you want to do and they kind of ignore you.
Yeah,
that kind of is like annoying. Like, okay, like if I have a request and you just like keep doing what you want to do, like I kind of want to leave.
Yeah.
Like this isn't even about me at all. Like I don't know. So
that's
but yeah. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like the connection there, like if you have a hard time communicating in general, like I hope that at least in the bedroom it gets a little bit better, because that's a whole different thing we don't even talk about, like communication, like in sexual experiences. I feel like that could just be an episode alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like people feel very self-conscious of like saying I like this, or like talking dirty, and like knowing how that's going to be like reciprocated.
I will say that like I am very adamant on like laying everything out from the beginning. I'm like, this is what I'm into. This is this. Like, I want to be able to create a safe space for you to try whatever you want. Like, I've let a lot of people have like their first time experiences and doing like pretty crazy stuff. But the one thing that like I wish I was a little bit more like better about is like the dirty talking in the bedroom. And I've had like a few partners who I'm able to like just keep that going with. And one in particular, she would just get off so easily when I would just like, you know, talk dirty in her ear. But then there's just some people that I just feel like there's like hardly any talking. It's still a great time, but like I'm like, I know I could be like talking dirty in your ear. I could be saying
but
something.
that's sometimes distracting for
Yeah.
certain people.
And you also, too, you're like, I don't want to, like, start a story and then, like, get lost in the middle of it while I'm, like, you know, at the peak of making
Yeah.
you, like, come or something like that. And then all of a sudden, like...
Like, if you're telling me some story and I'm like, I'm not focusing on what's
Yeah.
going on. Like, I can't focus on too many things at
Yeah.
once. But I know what you're saying. Like, kind of having, like, a natural flow of, like...
Just dialogue.
Not conversation,
Yeah.
but, you know, like,
Just
yeah,
like,
like...
fuck, that feels so good.
voice,
Or like,
yeah, like just some sort of, because it almost feels like uncomfortable if there's
Yeah.
not, if it's too quiet.
If it's just breathing.
Yeah, that's why music, of course, is like
Yeah,
nice,
turn-
but you don't always
turn some
think
music
about
on,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. It kind of like clears the like silence a little
Yeah.
bit. But I feel like what's so underrated is like, I think guys don't know how attractive like their moaning is. Like
Yep.
girls go nuts. Like that is like one of my favorite things. If I just hear you're enjoying it, you don't have to talk to me. Like
Yeah.
I just want to hear like, you know, like some moaning going on, and like that is like a huge thing that I don't think guys like take advantage of at all, because they just don't get it. Like I feel like you just have to think about what you want to hear from a woman. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
And I think on another end of that too, like I remember back in high school, like I also used to like not moan, not breathe, not talk, not nothing, and it was just
Not
like
breathe.
it was weird. Like
Yeah.
you know, you just like get caught up in the moment and you like forget to breathe. And
Right.
just in general,
You
if
pass
you're
out.
having sex and you're able to like focus on your breathing throughout sex, it just makes
Yeah.
everything about sex better.
Yeah.
Just small little tip. Small
Right.
little tip. It's just breathe. Like
Yeah, because it
Take
is
it
a
in.
movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then once your breathing is in sync, I think that's like
yeah,
really powerful.
absolutely.
Yeah, we just completely like lose our breath in that.
Yeah. Feels good. It's nice to take someone's breath away.
So it
After
really
they've
does.
gotten it.
yeah, it really does. It's like once you understand like that pattern, or even like breathing patterns. I notice like sleeping next to somebody, you pick up on their like rhythm.
Oh yeah, like the first night you like have someone sleep over and you're like the
Trying to
only thing
figure
you can
out-
focus on is trying to match your breathing together. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that.
What's really like, okay, so I've done this a few times. Like if you smoke with someone and then like if you have sex or whatever, and then like you're laying there like super high, all you can like hear is their breathing, and then you're paranoid that they're like listening to yours and they're not matched up. Like I've had that
yeah.
situation where I'm like constantly trying to like
Yeah.
match that, and it's just like everything's so heightened because you're like high, but like I don't do that anymore because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is too much. Like I'm
much.
overwhelmed, and then like my breath is like really short, and I'm like, this guy probably thinks I'm having like a panic attack. Like I don't know. It's just like, don't do that.
Yeah, no, definitely not. There's been like a few
Mm-hmm.
girls that like the first night and they're like, "You want to smoke?" I'm just like, "Nope,
I can't.
absolutely not. Nope,
Yeah.
not happening."
I haven't smoked in a while. It's
Really?
been like a little over a month, I think.
Damn,
So
nice.
yeah, I don't know like if that's, I guess it's
Good,
okay.
bad,
Yeah, it's good.
It's not bad.
I'm
It's
just
not-
trying to like figure out if it's more beneficial for me than
Okay.
it is, because I do get like, if I smoke too much or like not even like a hit or two, sometimes I'm like overly like stressed out. So I'm just like making sure that it's like something that actually I benefit from and not something I just do, I guess.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So yeah. So I think I've just needed like a little break.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Which is good.
Yeah.
You know.
You see it, reflect on it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just don't like really, I haven't really smoked by myself in a while, and that's like all I used to do. So
Try it again.
yeah, maybe I should just go like lay at the beach and
Mhm.
smoke. That's
Oh,
like one of the
that
best
would probably
places
be
to
nice.
be like high, just like unless you like see people and you're like, oh no, like that's what I
You
mean.
see a
Like
helicopter and you're like, "Fuck, they know
Oh,
I'm smoking
fuck.
on the beach."
they're coming for me. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, high sex, completely different level. That's so good sometimes. Like I feel like that's some of the best sex I've ever
Really?
had. Yeah, like you just feel like everything differently.
Back when I was like 16, 15, 16, a girl I was like dating at the time, and we like, I mean, we were in a long-term relationship. We were like having sex and stuff like that, and we used to get high, and it was good. But then I noticed too, like also like during it, the breathing would be fucked up, and like but like it was good though. Like it was just
Yeah, it's
interesting to
weird.
feel different parts of different things, and
Yeah. Your mind goes in like different directions.
Yeah.
So let's kind of recap what we think is the best advice for spicing it up.
Couples, single people, friends of benefits.
Yeah, pretty
anything.
much like all things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say initially the number one most important thing for anyone and everyone, no matter what, if you're having sex with someone and you're being open with someone, communication is always key. Always key, because
A lot of
like,
people don't want to hear that, but
yeah,
that is
but
number one.
you can be good at everything else, and you can both be into things, and you can both feel things, but if you can't have a conversation about what you like or dislike,
you can't go anywhere from that. Yeah.
like someone could be doing something, your partner that you could be dating for like 2 years could continuously keep doing something that you don't like, or you know that they could do slightly better. And if you won't give them that dialogue and you won't let them know,
they'll never know.
and then that's not only hurting them, but it's also hurting you, because it's your pleasure.
Right.
And you're not giving them the chance to fix it.
Yeah.
So
that's
communication, whether it's good, bad, anything, if you're going to be open with someone sexually, just talk.
Yeah. Good one. I feel like mine is getting out of your comfort zone, trying something new. I think that is like, so even minor things make a world of difference, I think. So, because I'm a person of comfort, like in a lot of areas of my life. I love routine. I talk about this all the time. But like, once you even just get out of the habit of doing the same thing, like, doesn't have to be like sex, like particularly, just like I said, like going somewhere you've never been, or, you know, like having like a hotel room and like just being different, being in a different environment changes it so much. So I feel like just putting that effort out there, I think, spices it up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. Yeah, even like doing stuff in the car, like if you give your partner like road head,
that's
or
so
you, like,
exciting.
hands down each other's pants while you're driving safely.
Doing anything in the car reminds me of being like a fun teenager, or even my early 20s. I feel like I did that a lot.
Like, take your partner and drive out to like an open field, like turn your car around, go outside, go to the beach.
Yeah.
Just
give a nice blowjob in the car.
Yeah.
You really won't be happier. I was talking to my friend yesterday about how like guys don't care about gifts. Like, just give him a blowjob. You don't have to make him dinner or anything. Like, you literally can just like, they don't care about stuff.
It's like receiving like a 50 flower bouquet of roses that you just spent like $200 on. Like, just a blowjob.
Yeah, you don't have to go all out. Like
that, or just like, I don't know, like just some sexy lingerie and just like a.
That's the best.
Something.
Yeah.
Anything. It's great.
Anything
guys
new.
love it. Most guys love it and will appreciate that.
That's what it is.
Most.
Like, just being spontaneous. It's like so exciting. So.
For sure.
I think that's
good. Any other anything you would say that people should avoid?
Probably putting the other person down. Like, anything that would make them insecure. Like, let's just like avoid that, I guess, the best as possible. Yeah. I think, like you're saying, like compliments and like just lifting people up will only benefit you. Yeah. But like, I don't like,
if you criticize your partner for like either, let's say, not lasting long or doing something the wrong way, and you just
or you're not doing it right or whatever.
And if you just like shut yourself off or like don't give them the room to like fix it, and you also too, on top of that, if you didn't communicate with them and then you shut yourself off and then put them down, that's a problem.
For women too, like I don't know if like women sometimes realize how sensitive men are, especially around like sexual experiences. Like, absolutely, you know, like if just anything is going on, it's almost like not making them feel bad if like something isn't going the way you expect it to or whatever. Like redirecting is so much like better, and the flow of energy will stay like positive instead of being like, you're not doing it right, or do this, or, you know, like just kind of being sensitive with the word choice, I guess.
Yeah. And like from a guy's perspective, a man's ego is very easily bruised from sex, from personal experience.
You don't want to feel like rejected.
Yeah. I remember back in high school, and like one of the big parts of the reason like why I am the way I am now is because there was probably like 3 significant experiences I had with certain people. And one of them was something along the lines of like, he sucks at doing this. She never told me. She never gave me any tips
Feedback.
or advice or anything. And then all of a sudden, like, her entire group of friends knew that I wasn't good at that. So I was like, I heard it from someone else, and I'm like, well, I'm going to make sure that never
I'm
happens
the best
again.
at this.
Yeah. And then that happened 2 more times with other things, and it was also from a lack of communication and putting someone down. But that, like, really, 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 like, bothered me. Like, really bothered me. And I feel like a lot of guys, like, for example, if you don't last a long time or something like that, and then you're like the laughing stock of her friend group because you're like last for 30 seconds or you're a 2-pump chump, like you have no, that just tears a man down.
Yeah,
that,
it does.
Yeah. So.
But it's almost like.
Women, you have power in that also.
Yeah, we do. But it's almost like kind of a compliment if you don't last that long. It's like, oh, good.
Once
I didn't
or
have
twice,
to,
though. But if you're dating someone for 2 years and you're just like, you know.
No, that kind of sucks. Like, I mean, I understand where it's like terrible for a guy to like feel that way. Like, oh, I didn't even like last that long or whatever. But like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You just have to learn how to pace the whole situation.
Yeah. Just like a girl that like uses teeth every time she gives head. Yeah.
Someone needs to let her know.
It's like almost the same way.
But it's like, how do you tell her like, don't do that?
Remember the festival girl I told you about?
Yeah.
She like would not stop using teeth, and I said something to her about it, and she was like
angry. She
was mad. She was like, "I'm trying," and she kept going, and I was just like, "All right,
well, you should just stop."
I guess I'll just bear with this. I should have just stopped."
Oh
but yeah,
my God.
some people don't take criticism
very
properly,
well.
but yeah, be receptive to it. Give constructive criticism in a positive way. Listen to your partner. Tell your partner what you like. Have better sex.
That's about it.
Yeah, spice it up.
That's good. I liked this episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice and
I think
spicy.
it was useful for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would
hope.
say so. Anyone that's having sex, at least.
Yeah. If anyone has any other tips, let us know.
Yeah, or stories.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Or come on the podcast and tell them yourself.
Yeah.
We're looking for guests, so.
But
great.
Thanks for listening, guys.
All right, bye.